Hey, what's up? It's Amanda and I'm back with another video. So today's video, if you couldn't tell by my cardigan and my general outfit, it's fall vibes up in here, okay? I am fully leaning into the fall theme. I want it to be fall immediately, even though it's literally like 80 degrees outside right now and it's hot. I don't care, I want it to be fall. So today's video, in honor of that, is going to be my fall TBR. I have a bunch of books to share with y'all, so let's just get right on into it. So the first couple books that I want to share with you are actually books that I'm currently reading. These, I'm just counting them as books that are part of my fall TBR because they kind of fit the theme of like horror, thriller, mystery, eerie, good for her kind of books. The first book that I have to share with y'all is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. I'm currently reading this on my Kindle and it is so interesting. We are following our main character Irina, who is a photographer, but she specifically photographs like fetish art, and so all of her photography and like her whole portfolio is just this kind of, honestly, like a lot of them are either partially nude or fully nude, like portraits of people, and it's just about her chaotic life. She's in her 20s and she's almost 30, I think, I want to say. But anyways, it's just like her goings on as an artist in this space, and just, it's an interesting time, okay? I'm really finding it fascinating so far. I don't know if I'm like enjoying it because she is such a chaotic person and she's kind of rude to everybody in her life. Like she kind of just uses people to get what she wants. But it's also just like interesting to watch or like read, I guess. You know what I mean? So that's Boy Parts. Next we have The Glow by Jessie Gaynor. This is a library book that I have and I've been working on this since July. So I'm actually contemplating DNFing it, but I wanted to add this in here just in case I don't DNF it. For The Glow, we are following our main character, Jane, who is working in PR, and she works for this company who, like, you know, do PR for random other companies. And she eventually goes to this cult-like space. It's like a retreat for just your general health, and she goes to this retreat thinking that she can use her connections or whatever in the PR industry to market this wellness retreat as the next big thing, but then she ends up losing her job, so she decides to ask for a job at this retreat in being the PR agent for this wellness retreat. But it's got like cult vibes and it's all about the beauty industry as well. It's very interesting, don't get me wrong. I'm actually enjoying my time reading it. The reason why I want to DNF it is because the leader of this wellness retreat is insufferable. I literally cannot stand her. So every time I read a scene or a chapter with her in it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot continue reading this. So that's where I'm at with this one. But other than that, it's very funny. Jane is such an interesting character and I love all the capitalistic commentary and commentary about the beauty industry and stuff like that. And being a millennial in this capitalist world, trying to make it, but having insurmountable debt. It's very interesting. So I'm liking those themes. It's just the one character that I cannot stand. So I don't know. I might just continue with it. I'm 50% of the way through, so I might just continue. The last book that I'm currently reading is actually an audiobook. I couldn't find the ebook anywhere for free, so I just got the audiobook. But this is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. This is like a haunted house story. So we are following our main character Vera as she was estranged from her mom, and she has to come back to her hometown to take care of her dying mother. Her mother is very sick with something, but we don't know like what she's sick with. And she comes home to her hometown. She feels like an outsider because something happened in the town with her father, which we don't find out until about 25% of the way through. So I'm not gonna like divulge what we find out. Something happened with her father years ago, which led to her like eventually being estranged from her mother. And so the town is kind of like against Vera and her mother. They don't want them there. So it's very interesting, but what the plot that we're following is actually Vera trying to get the house ready for when her mother inevitably passes, and then she's also experiencing some weird things in the house. So they're kind of unexplainable things, and she's like getting weird vibes from the house. So from what I understand, it is a haunted house story or along those lines. I don't know really where it's going right now. I'm only 30% of the way through, but I'm enjoying that one so far. Another book that I forgot actually that is in my currently reading is called Witchy by Ariel Slamet Reyes. So this book is hard to explain, but it's about this girl who lives in a magical world where people have magic powers, and the longer your hair is, the more powerful you are with your magic. And so she's actually hiding the fact that her hair is super, super long. So she has this like immense amount of power, but she just doesn't know how to use it. Years ago, her father was actually burned for being suspecting of being a rebel, again, like going against the crown. So she feels that she wants to keep her life pretty under the radar. She doesn't want to get into any kind of trouble, but then they have this like trial where they see how well you are in combat, kind of. It's not like life or death stakes. It's just like they set up some sort of like task for you to do, and you team up and try and, you know, get your team to win the task or whatever. It's time for our main character to go through this trial. She ends up being singled out and kind of like offered this position to be a part of the military that is in this world, and she decides that that is the worst thing that could have happened to her. So she cuts off her hair and like runs away. And cutting off your hair in this world is like the worst thing you could do. It's like treason. So the guards are after her, and it's just about like her life on the run. That's like basically what's happening. And so that leads me into this stack of library books, because I'm reading volume 1 of Witchy, but I also took out volume 2 of Witchy, where I don't know what's happening in volume 2, but we're obviously following the same main character as she continues to hide from the military forces in this world. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm still working on Witchy. I have like maybe 50 pages left of the graphic novel. It's a graphic novel, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So let's just go to a page that's very colorful. Yeah. It's very pretty. So yeah, I've been working on this series, and I'm excited to get into Witchy Volume 2. Next, I have the last installment in the Sheets graphic novel series by Brenna Thumler. This is Lights by Brenna Thumler. And this one is following our two main characters, Marjorie, well, three actually, Marjorie, Wendell, and their new friend Eliza. Wendell is the ghost, this is Marjorie, this is Eliza. So Wendell is a sheet ghost, and it's just kind of following them as they deal with grief, as they deal with friendship drama and being in high school and like all the, you know, drama that comes along with being in high school. So I'm excited to continue and finally finish this series. This is also a graphic novel series. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's very colorful as well. So I'm excited for this one. Lastly, out of my library books, I have Hera by Jennifer Saint. I don't know anything about this book. I just know that I've read almost all of Jennifer Saint's other books about female Greek figures in like Greek mythology. So I'm just very excited to get into this one. All I know about Hera is what literally is on the inside cover. Hera is the sister of Zeus or something like that. And this is just following her story. So I'm excited. I really love these Greek myth retellings or just Greek myth stories that Jennifer Saint has put together. I've read Atalanta and I've read Electra by Jennifer Saint, and I physically own Ariadne, but I haven't gotten to it yet. That was her first one, I believe. But yeah, I'm glad that I finally have this from the library, and I'm excited to get into it. Another book that I have from the library that I actually don't have physically with me yet, but I know my hold is coming in at the end of the month. It is Diavola by, I do not know who it's by off the top of my head. Jennifer Thorne, I think, something like that. I'll have the cover up here. And this one I know is like another haunted house story, and I am just very intrigued. I purposely did not want to know much about Diavola because the cover just kind of intrigued me, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, so that's the only reason why I want to read it. But yeah, I'm excited to finally have it in my grubby little paws and be able to read it from my library. This next stack are all books that I have reading plans for. I definitely am going to get to these in the next month or two. So first we have The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This is a historical fantasy about some witches, and then there's like, we're following witches in the 1800s, and then we're also following a group of sisters in like modern day or something like that. I don't really know. All I know is that it's chunky. It is like a thick book. And I've heard a lot of amazing things about this one. I've been meaning to read it for the longest time, but I'm only just now picking it up, so don't come for me. Next is another book by Alex E. Harrow. This is The 10,000 Doors of January. This one I know nothing about. I just know that this is by Alex E. Harrow and that people like it. That's all I know. This is a sneak peek at a vlog that is coming up, so if you know some of the vlogs that I be doing, you might be able to pick up what I am putting down right now in regards to Alex E. Harrow. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, the last book that I have plans to read is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This one I just know is about a group of final girls, as in girls who have experienced a huge, like, horrific tragedy, and they ended up being the only one left that survived this huge tragedy. So they form a support group, and they're like sharing their experiences and whatever. But then they start getting killed off one by one, and it's like, who's killing the final girls? So they have to try and figure out the mystery of like, who's killing us, and also like try and survive. So I'm excited for this one. I have the audiobook from my library, so I need to read this one soon. So this last stack let me just show y'all this stack. These are all hopefuls. I am hoping that I can get around to reading these. These are books that I have been wanting to read for a long time, but just haven't gotten to yet. So for one reason or another, if I have the time to, I will get to these. The first one is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This one is a romance, so very different tone from all the other books that I have shown in this video thus far. But this is a romance, and I just get like huge fall vibes from the cover alone. And I was recommended this by my boyfriend's sister, and she just thought that I would really enjoy this. So I really want to get to this one ASAP. I heard it's like Kylo Ren fanfic, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm not hating it. So we'll see how it goes with this one. The next book is a continuation of a series. This is A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. I've read the first two in this series. I believe it's A Touch of Darkness is the first one, and A Touch of Ruin is the second one. These books are about Hades and Persephone, and it's kind of following their romance. And this is the third book in the series, so I'm not going to give you a synopsis. I'm just going to tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed number one, A Touch of Darkness. I gave it like a 4 or a 4.5. Number two was more of like a 3.5, 3.75. And I just hope that this one, you know, picks up the pace a little bit and gives me a little more than what the second one gave me. Not that I'm hating the series or anything like that. I'm not good with reading series, so I'm just hoping that like this is as good as I hope it is. You know what I mean? Next, we have They Never Learned by Lane Fargo. This is one of those good for her novels. We are following a professor called Dr. Clark. She works at this university and she is a serial killer. She kills off shady men, and then we're following the professor's perspective as well as one of her students' perspectives. And I think something happens to where they start suspecting that somebody on campus is the killer. And so she has to try and steer the suspicion away from her, but we're also following the students' point of view, so I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I just know that everybody loves this book. And last but not least, we have White Horse by Erica T. Worth. I don't know much about this. I just know that it's a horror book and it is giving very much fall vibes. This is by an Indigenous author, and that's all I really know. I've heard some mixed things about this, but also some of my favorite authors have blurbed the back of this. Stephen Graham Jones blurbed this, Grady Hendrix blurbed this, and Sylvia Moreno Garcia blurbed this. Rebecca Roanhorse also blurbed this, but I haven't read from her just yet. So I'm actually very excited about this. I did not even realize that some of my favorite authors blurbed the back. That's so exciting. Here are all the books that are on my fall TBR. I'm gonna promptly put this down because this is a crazy stack. Like, look at this. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what is on your fall TBR. Are you excited for fall? Like, let me know. Are you a fall kind of like person? Do you enjoy fall, or are you more of a summer person? Are you more of a winter person? Let me know. But also just let me know what you're planning on reading in the next couple months. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. If you don't know what to say, comment any kind of fall emoji. I'll have some on the screen, but any kind of like fall, cozy, or spooky kind of emoji, comment them down below. Don't forget to follow me on social medias. I have Instagram, Threads, TikTok, The Storygraph, and Goodreads, so follow me or friend me on any of those. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.